Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing today? Tuesday. Obviously, we have no baseball today to talk about, so we get to do some more obscure stuff. I talk about an NBA preseason cash lineup review. I know this is what gets everybody's motors turning, right? Either way, we'll make this one short, quick, and to the point. Just kind of review, go over this, and move along from there. All right, guys. Bear with me for 1 second. If you watched yesterday, most of the picks worked out pretty well, so that's a good thing. Doesn't always work out that way, but it's more fun when it does. Just a review of some of the things we brought up yesterday, going through it. Again, if you're new to the station and you want information for DFS, we cover baseball, basketball, football over here. We'll do a lot of videos for the NBA preseason as much as we can, but we got the regular season coming up soon. So we went through Ian Mahinmi yesterday, 4K starting center with Dwight Howard out. He was fine. He gave us the points we were looking for. Nothing special. He returned a ratio that was proper. He didn't get a ton of minutes, but he was a good, safe guy for cap space. Probably not your premier guy necessarily for, GPPs and upside, but he was a very safe guy and was sticking to cash games last night. I felt very safe with him. He gave me what I was looking for. Kevin Knox was a guy. Matt brought him up, and we talked him through yesterday. He was awesome. Didn't really get an opportunity to watch him play, but he was very, very good. I believe he put up a double-double, did a little bit of everything on the floor. This is a guy I would definitely pay attention to moving forward. Still trying to get a little bit feel of the NBA preseason myself, and I haven't played a ton of NBA DFS preseason in the past because I've usually used it as a little time off. But forget that this year. Let's play a lot of NBA preseason, and you're going to want to pay attention to these rookie studs like this that are getting good minutes. He ran with the first unit last night. He was excellent. We'll get to my final lineup in a second. Because I stuck with cash and I didn't really know what to expect with him, I did leave some points off the table that if I had used him instead of one, probably the worst play I made of the night, lineup would have been a lot better, and I'd done more than just double money in GPPs. Joel Embiid, again, he was chalk yesterday. He made a lot of sense playing his second game. We know how good he is. We know Orlando's a cupcake matchup. So Joel Embiid did exactly what most of us expected him to. He was owned by almost everybody in my double up. So this was just kind of a logical choice. Josh Jackson was the big money guy for me. The key thing here with Josh Jackson is, we talked about it, no Devin Booker opens up a lot of extra usage, shots, minutes like that for him. He played a lot of minutes yesterday. Again, these young guys tend to play a little bit more minutes just because they need more work and their legs can handle it. Us old guys, we don't need it quite as much. I'm not saying me as like I'm out there playing, but old guys don't need the work quite as much because they've done it more. You need to take care of their bodies a little bit more because when you get old, shit just doesn't work like it used to. And Alfred Payton, he was solid, nothing special. He did kind of his job. I wanted some exposure to this game with the high total. Played a lot of minutes in the first half, was virtual non-existent after a couple minutes into the third quarter, which is pretty typical of your veteran players. So you can see this is a small double up. 23 people finished second place out of 23. This, for me, is kind of a side note, seemed to be a lower scoring double up. I usually prefer to play single entry with the higher the amounts, the better. But in NBA preseason, those options really aren't for you out there. So you do have to play the smaller ones. Now, occasionally you can get lucky and you can enter a double up like this that is lower scoring. And I'm only basing this on the fact that the GPP I played in, while I'm second place out of 23 in here, like I just doubled my money in a GPP, which is nothing special at all. We've all done that a million times before. I feel like if this was a more competitive double up, I probably would have been not like second out of 23, more like 6th, 7th, something like that, just based on my placing right there. But that's what happens occasionally with smaller GPPs, is sometimes you just get into a smaller cash games. Occasionally you get into a weaker one. Oftentimes, though, I feel like when I play the smaller ones, I get into a more competitive one. The cash line is higher, and that's why I've always liked the single entry double ups. More people, the better. You get the truest form of representation. No different than when you're doing market research or you're doing polls and things like that. The more people you get, the more true the representation is going to be. So we've kind of covered all these guys already. Alfred Payton, solid. He did his job. Nothing much more than that, just solid. Josh Jackson, he was excellent. He was a big part of helping win last night. Outscored Joel Embiid even. Josh Jackson's definitely, he's got some game to him. He does a little bit of everything. And most importantly with Josh Jackson, he's aggressive. And that's going to be a big part of things. So I used Julius Randle as well in that game. I wanted some exposure to the New Orleans-Atlanta game. He was fine. Again, too, nothing special. And then see doubling up on the studs from the 76ers and Simmons and Joel Embiid. I liked it because it was the second game. I'm not 100% sure if that's why everybody else chose to go there, but you can see they were very, very popular yesterday. And again, they were fine, nothing special. The play that I wish I could go back and do over again was Skal Labissiere, who was a virtual no-show for the entire first half. He didn't do anything but hit a three-pointer in the first half. Did come in with 6 points and a rebound in limited time in the second half, so it recouped a little bit. But this is the spot where I should have stuck with Knox. Still trying to play out the difference in cash game guys and GPPs early in an NBA preseason. There isn't going to be a significant difference between the two of them, but if I had slid Kevin Knox in there instead, that would have been the smart move and things would have been, a lot better. Other than that, solid. We know that most guys are going to be playing 23, 24, 25 minutes when you can find guys like Josh Jackson playing bigger minutes. And I would pay a lot of attention to the Phoenix Suns right now, running up and down the court, no Devin Booker, young guys playing a lot of minutes. I haven't looked at the schedule to see the next time that they're up there is, but that's a team I would give a real look to, as just the fact that he was willing to let Josh Jackson play like 30 minutes last night. That could be huge from an NBA DFS perspective. The other thing I think that I picked up on this one was people were way more apt to play guys in the early games. They felt more comfortable with the starting lineups, whereas there is that fear within NBA that your guys will get late scratched later in the game. That could be great for GPPs. Maybe play a lot of guys in the late games, and if those games go a little bit more aggressively, that's something you might want to pay attention to. I don't know for sure if that's the reason, but it is a little spooky to me that people went so top-heavy in Embiid and Simmons, which made sense. Again, obviously I played them. I think they made sense in the early games, but really lacked love on the 6:30 game, even with the highest point total in the later games. So it's worth monitoring going forward, to say the very least. So again, not much to go over. NBA preseason, there's not a ton to talk about. We will be on here in a little bit talking to NFL for the rest of you guys, and we'll see you in a bit. Thanks for watching.